The gunshot echoed once, sharp and final, slicing through the afternoon heat. To the witnesses rushing toward the scene, it was an open and shut case, a tragic suicide. A lonely woman, overwhelmed by sorrow, had turned her service weapon on herself. But as the blood cooled and the investigators looked closer, the cracks began to show. Why would a woman trained to handle pressure break so suddenly? Why were the forensic traces wrong? And who was the friend crying at the scene, whose tears hid a secret far deadlier than grief? This is the story of Layla, a woman of strength who met her end not in the line of duty, but in the passenger seat of a friend's car. It is a tale where trust is the weapon and greed is the trigger. What you are about to hear is not just a mystery of death. It is a warning about the masks people wear, even those who call you sister. Our story centers on an Algerian daughter named Layla. She lived in a very simple household, consisting of her father, her mother, and one brother who was 2 years older than her. Her brother joined the military corps. His work stabilized in one of the distant cities, forcing him to marry and settle there. He established a family and had children. Due to her brother's circumstances, Layla was forced to bear responsibility. She cared for her elderly and retired parents. Her parents' jobs were simple, barely covering their living needs. After graduating from university, Layla had an ambition. She wanted to join the military corps, specifically in national security, to work as a policewoman. Indeed, she applied to the military college and was accepted. Layla was characterized by her height and physical fitness. She succeeded in interviews and training courses. Afterwards, she was appointed in one of the police centers. Layla enjoyed a charismatic personality and striking beauty. Her supervisors at work noticed something unique. She possessed a strange and very convincing style in solving social problems, so they referred complex family and social cases to her due to her intelligence and good handling of others. Despite this strong personality, Layla was lonely. She had no close female friends or male friends. She refused any emotional relationship or acquaintance. She drew strict boundaries with her colleagues, preferring to leave immediately after her shift ended to care for her parents. She lived like this until 2007 AD. During the presidential elections in Algeria, security men and employees were distributed to polling stations. Among them was Layla. Within the work team in one of the centers, there was an employee named Mona. She worked in the post office or the bank. She was doing extra work during the election period. Mona was a beautiful girl, 2 years older than Layla. She managed the election process at the center. During long working hours that extended for days, a friendship arose between the two girls. Mona admired Layla's personality, and Layla felt comfortable with her too. It was the first time she opened her heart to anyone. Dialogues began between them. Mona asked Layla about the reason for her constant isolation. Layla answered that her brother was far away. She was responsible for her elderly parents. She did not have time for friendships or relationships. Due to the proximity of Mona's house to the polling center, she began inviting Layla for lunch. The relationship between them developed. It became very strong, especially from Layla's side, who found in Mona the sister, the friend, the life expert. After a period, Layla consulted Mona. She desired to buy a luxury car. Although her salary was not enough, not immediately, Mona advised her open a savings account at the bank where I work. A monthly amount will be deducted until the required amount accumulates. Layla agreed. She opened the account and began saving part of her salary to buy her dream car. Years passed. The relationship between the two friends developed, become stronger than that of sisters. They went out together, they traveled, they spent free time together. This made Layla's parents happy to see their daughter living a social life. But after 2 years, a young man proposed to Mona, and she agreed. Layla helped her friend with wedding preparations. Even Mona borrowed an amount of money from her. Layla helped her without hesitation. Mona got married. The friendship continued, but began to weaken. Mona got busy with her husband. Then, with her newborn, her time to meet Layla decreased. This change began to bother Layla. She felt lonely again, especially since Mona began to always apologize for meetings on the grounds of her family obligations. By 2015 AD, Layla was in a state of depression, psychological pressure. She tried to communicate with Mona to no avail. So, she left her work. She went to Mona's workplace. She was wearing her military uniform, carrying her service weapon. Layla was angry and sad. She confronted Mona, blaming her for ignoring her. Mona tried to calm her down. She requested permission from her supervisor to go out with Layla to talk in the car. While sitting in the car, Mona's husband was calling her. Mona asked Layla to wait just moments to answer the call, but Layla refused, insisting on talking. Immediately, Mona apologized. She got out of the car to answer her husband outside. In those moments, and due to extreme anger, Layla shot herself in the head, committing suicide, according to the initial story. Mona heard the sound of the shot. She returned to find Layla, a dead body. Authorities were informed. Mona was arrested for investigation. Mona was collapsed. She told the investigators the story of the close friendship. She claimed that Layla was extremely attached to her, to the point of jealousy from her husband. She claimed that the suicide came as a result of Mona's refusal to talk to her at that moment. The investigators were surprised. The alleged morbid attachment did not make sense, especially since Layla was known for her strong and independent personality. As a security officer, the investigation began to deepen, and the forensic report showed a major shock. The bullet entered Layla's head from a distance of about 2 meters. There were no powder traces on the wound. This negates the suicide hypothesis, as the weapon must be adjacent or very close in case of suicide. The investigation turned to the financial aspect. Investigators discovered that Layla withdrew all her savings 2 months before the incident. The balance became 0. It appeared that the withdrawn amount was deposited into Mona's account on the same day. Examinations also revealed that the signature on the withdrawal papers was forged. It did not match Layla's handwriting. Mona was confronted with the evidence. She collapsed and confessed the truth. Investigations revealed that Mona was monitoring Layla's account, watching the accumulation of the large amount. She coveted the money. She withdrew it by forging signatures, exploiting her work at the bank. When she felt that Layla might discover the theft and demand the amount, she decided to get rid of her. Mona told the story of the obsessed friend as a pretext to justify the incident and simulate suicide. Mona confessed that she killed Layla to cover up the embezzlement crime and get rid of the moral and financial debt. Thus, the story turned from a tragedy of a neglected friend's suicide to a cold-blooded murder crime. For money, Mona was sentenced to 20 years in prison. This was the end of the story, a lesson in the betrayal of false friendship and the danger of greed and in God's safety.